Barassi of Melbourne comes in to get the ball. He turns onto his left foot.
Barassi handballs it out to the open space.
Jack Dyer once said about Ron Barassi that he was so deeply connected to the Melbourne Football Club that opposition players used to think he wasn't wearing a football jumper, that it was the colour of his skin.
Up they go, Barassi in there.
Right through the centre.
Barassi crashes in, leaving bodies in his wake.
The Barassi in the forward pocket.
While Ron went on to create history at other clubs, the Melbourne Football Club was the enduring love of his life. It was connection born out of loss and love, belonging and brotherhood. He carried his father's name and wore his father's number, number 31.
I not only carry his name, I carry his blood.
That same football club famously made a pledge to regard the material welfare of 5-year-old Ronnie and his mother Elsa as their sacred duty after Ron Sr. was killed at Tobruk in 1941. They never forgot the pledge. In time, Ron came to live in a bungalow in the backyard of his coach, Norm Smith's house. Norm would become his mentor in football and in life, a father figure who inspired him and drove him in equal parts.
He was very, very good for me, both as a person and as a footballer, naturally. Now, he's been the greatest influence by far in my football career.
Ron found his place within the club, but initially couldn't find the right position within the team. That was until he was named ruck rover in his second season. He transformed the role, kick-starting his career. Ron became the driving force behind the most successful period of the Melbourne Football Club. After missing the finals in his first season, Barassi went on to play in 11 consecutive final series, including 7 grand finals in a row. Across his 12 seasons, Barassi and Melbourne would win an astonishing 6 premierships. He regularly produced his best when his best was needed. With teammates insisting he would have won 4 Norm Smith medals if the award named after his legendary coach had been around in the 50s. A highly skilled, tenacious player and inspirational on-field leader, Ron captained Melbourne in the 1960 and 64 flags. His last on-field act in the red and blue came when he hoisted the 1964 Cup aloft as skipper.
Finish. What a game.
I'm sure today that we have seen one of the greatest spectacles of our Australian games ever played on this ground.
No one could have imagined then that it would be his final game for the club and Melbourne's last premiership for 57 seasons. Having already led North and Carlton to the ultimate success, he returned home as the prodigal son to coach Melbourne in 1981. The thing I loved about Barassi when he came to coach us was that he genuinely cared about the club. He had everything to lose and not much to gain. He was a super coach, and everyone expected him to turn us into a successful team. But the problem was we were an average list, and it didn't quite happen that way. By the end of his 5 years, he had reset the culture in the club and introduced a new standard of professionalism that was the base for the more successful Melbourne teams of the late 80s and 90s. While Melbourne shared Barassi with others along the way, in his heart and ours, he was always a demon. Thankfully, he was able to see his wish come true with another premiership in 2021. Barassi was the heart and soul of the Melbourne Football Club. He loved Melbourne, and we all loved him.